I'd like to make a motion to open the October 5th, 2023 New Paltz Town Board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda. I'd like to add one item, along with this, with 6 and 7, but it's a discussion about the overlay zoning that we talked about a few months ago. And that's it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Announcements, there'll be a rabies clinic for dogs and cats held Wednesday, October 11th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Town Highway Garage, 52 Clearwater Road, New Paltz. Vaccinations for rabies are $15 each and will be administered by Dr. Lori Stein, the traveling veterinarian. Heartworm medication also available. Rabies certificates will be presented at the completion of the vaccination. These certificates are essential for licensing dogs where they reside as required by New York State law.
Yep.
And for the dog park, technically.
Yeah, exactly. No, super important to get your dogs vaccinated.
And that's all I have for announcements. If there's any other announcements?
I do. I have an announcement. I've been working with Phoenix, and we have all come together to the holiday hoopla to make the holiday hoopla a big event. It is wonderful. It's going to be the town, the village. It'll be Huguenot. And the parade will have the same trajectory as a Halloween parade. So it's going to go down Main Street and then goes down to Huguenot.
Bigger this year.
Bigger this year. There'll be a lot of events. There will be floats and all kinds of activities. That's going to be a big deal. So we're very excited. It's December 9th, 12 to 3, but it'll go further into the evening as we plan more events. So just we will post it on the town website. At the village, we'll already post it, and we're going to start getting donations for some prizes for the floats. So if you see me down Main Street, I'm going to be working with some of the officers as well for the holiday hoopla.
12 to 3.
12 to 3. Yeah. December 9th. Snow date is December 10th. You never know. Just yeah.
Okay, that's
And
all the announcements
Yeah.
that I have. Any public input? If there's anyone online, raise your hand.
Here. You see me? Should I
Yes.
raise my here? Should I do this?
We see, you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Ready? Okay. I'm want to compliment you on going ahead with the ADU at the speed you've been working on it. I think it's an important component of affordable housing in our community. And it reminded me, I'm wondering where we can find the list of short-term registrations, you know, the non-owner occupied sort of Airbnb things. It's in our code, but I don't know, you know, there's a place where it says this is where you fill out the registration form. I don't know who monitors that. And I just think it would be great if the public could have a look and see where they are. And I'm wondering if those Airbnbs contribute to the new hotel motel tax. Would that be a good source of revenue for us? I was interested to hear Alex talk about donations. We don't do that enough. We do have a donation page on our website. It took me a while to find it, but things like the dog park, which really only need maybe $1,000. Let's sort of publicize that site. You know, it doesn't have to be a nonprofit because it goes right to the town. And anybody who wants to go clean up after the dogs could get paid whatever minimum wage is. But I'm a little uncomfortable about asking our building and grounds and highway department to clean up other people's dog poop. So that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We, because of the turnover we've had in the building department, we're still in the process of collecting the rental registrations. We're trying to get data from the county. And it's not just short-term rentals that have to register.
Okay.
Any owner occupied rental unit needs to register with the town. And so we're gonna be contacting people, but if people want to, they can register with the town because in theory, they should already be doing it. So, and that will help us collect data on how many long-term and short-term rentals we actually have. Because we're still talking about an Airbnb, like short-term rental law.
Yeah.
But we would like to base that on some numbers.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
hopefully throughout this year, we're gonna get all that registrations done now that we've hired people in the building department. And we don't get any of the hotel tax. That all goes to the county. As usual,
Unfortunately.
we don't get the money.
Let's
We
do
just
that.
have the work to
Mhm.
do.
But one thing that I did do, and you can do it, is that you can actually go on Airbnb and you can just put in New Paltz. And you just start seeing all the listings. So that's a really quick way for one to get like instant information. You just go on Airbnb and you just put New Paltz rentals.
Yeah.
And you'll get a pretty approximate number of what's out there.
So
So.
we'll be doing that this year.
We'll be doing-
That's one of the goals this year is
Yeah.
to get that up. And when we do, it will be publicly available. The list.
I know you don't like to have dialogue back and forth, but to Alex's question, when you look at all of those, are they registered? I think that's the question I'm asking. When you scroll through all the Airbnbs, are they registered? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other public comments. Motion to approve the consent agenda 1A through 1C.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, and so the ADU law discussion, we have passed the ADU law. We did that this past summer. We've gotten a few comments back from people who are concerned about, in our code, it's is it 45% of the existing unit, up to 45%, or 900 square feet, whichever is smaller, right?
Right.
And so we've gotten some complaints about that 900 square feet is too small. And so, wanted to have a discussion about that. We can change that. We can remove that. I went and looked at the ADU laws in the other towns in the county, kind of summarized them, sent them around. Not all of them have that maximum square footage. Some have nothing, but there's a mix. But I think it really varies by town. And it's kind of what you want. And I'm interested in what people think. Our goal is to get as many built as possible. And if we want to have some restrictions on them to make sure that you don't change the whole feeling of the neighborhood or the town, but this may not be one of them. And if you limit it to 900 square feet or 45%, the best example people brought up to me is, what if you have a raised ranch? And, you want to make the bottom, at the ADU, but it's more than 900 square feet. It kind of derails the whole project.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then they just won't do it.
Right.
And
And it can restrict people then, like
Exactly.
their whole family, they
Right.
could have a whole set of their family living
Right.
underneath them and it wouldn't change the neighborhood.
Exactly.
And so,
Yeah.
for me, I think that I'd rather that we be the least restrictive.
Yeah.
Because our goal is to promote affordable housing and to make it that people can live here
Totally agree with you.
and
Yeah.
to increase density.
Right.
And so.
And
to
if it
that
allows,
end.
and it allows a whole family to live there.
instead of just.
Instead of just a
apartment.
single
And
partner.
intergenerational.
Exactly.
I think that makes
Agree.
that's the best argument. One of the better arguments I've
Yeah.
heard is, an ADU is not just a single 1-bedroom apartment.
Mhm.
You may want to build a 2-bedroom apartment for another family to live in.
Or your parents.
Or your
For your
parents.
parents.
And then-
Exactly.
So
Yes.
we can,
Mhm.
if the board is all in favor of that, we can, so there's a few other laws we're gonna be working on as well. We can kind of put a bunch of them together and once they're all set, we can start setting public hearings. My guess is sometime, in like a month and a half or something, and we can have multiple public hearings sometime. By the time Joe gets this back, we could probably, my goal would be first meeting in December, we try to change all of these rules
Mhm.
for this. That number 6 and number 7 are the, we'll get to them. But I'll ask Joe, if everyone's okay, to work on changing that law to remove that 900 square feet.
I agree.
I agree,
And
yeah.
I would agree, and to have it less restrictive. I remember Joe was the one who said, though, you do wanna make sure it's not a two-family house, you know, there's a line where after you go past,
Yes,
it's two-family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but
there's reasons to,
2,000 square feet.
because we have laws, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
two-family houses, and we don't wanna, we want it to be fair to those people who are.
Yeah.
You know, have a two-family house,
but it's still, I
situation.
mean, for us,
but 45% seems to be okay.
45 and the owner occupied,
And the owner.
right? So, and
Mhm.
just to remind everyone, the rationale behind that is so outside investors don't come in, buy houses, turn them into, duplexes, and then
Mhm.
you're making it actually even harder for people to own houses in the area.
Yeah.
And so, but if it's still owner occupied and you want to have another family live there, I think that's different than a, like, my parents grew up in duplexes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's a great incentive, and I think it really, people on a budget, you have people who are teachers, people who are, making a decent income, but it's not, taxes and everything else in our area. It allows you to have that extra income, but it allows you to live okay, and it helps with affordable housing, which is a
Yeah,
huge problem,
for sure.
which we really need to resolve, so. I'm all for that.
I will,
Mhm.
we'll move forward on that one.
Yeah.
And when we get it back, we can set the public hearing.
Okay.
I appreciate the people who emailed us. 'Cause,
Me
those
too.
are
I
important.
was- yeah, it was
understand
very
what the
good.
issues
I
are.
agree, and the
And,
builders.
and just so
Yeah.
anyone knows, what we can tell them is, okay, it's going to change, because the board has consensus on it. But if they really want to do it in the next month, they could try to go before the ZBA, but it's probably gonna take longer than a month.
Mhm.
The law is gonna change quicker.
Yeah.
But we are going to change the law and remove that 900 square feet.
Great.
And number 3 is. We received this from Rosanna. So I put some notes together for this, but this is discussion on the proposed retail dispensaries. One at Old Route 299 and one at 56 Main Street. And so, just so everyone's aware, we were receiving these because under the cannabis law, an applicant needs to notify the municipality in which the premises is located of such applicant's intent to file such an application. And so I have a link to that, this particular background on it, but we have 2 applications for us. And then we can comment on those applications if we would like, at the bottom of that notification. And so this is where the municipalities have the option to make comments back to the cannabis board.
Mhm.
And so the first one, and we have, so it says, if we'd like to express an opinion to the cannabis info board, please respond to this notification within 30 days by me emailing an attached opinion to municipalities at ocmny.gov on municipal letterhead. And so we have 2 of them. One is from Farmers Choice Dispensary, 2 at number 1 Old Route 299.
Mhm.
They have been approved by the planning board already.
Mhm.
They've come before, they've spoken to us, several of us have met them. They're locally owned. There are no schools, houses of worship, or community facilities nearby. And in the past, we've sent a letter of support for them. And so if the board has any discussion, I have no issues with them.
Yeah.
If anything, I would, my preference would be our comment would be that we do support this application.
I met with them and they were very organized and they knew what they were doing. They are local. And it's a business, and I think the part that I support is the fact that it's not close to anything. You don't have you don't have kids from school walking by. You don't have, anybody who, I think one of the concerns was anybody who may be in recovery, walking by and having that. It's not in that area. So it's independent, which I think is a very positive thing.
So,
Mhm.
The traffic would be less because it's so close to the thruway.
yes, and so the planning board went through all of that and
Right.
So that's, that's the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are okay with sending a response to this, and saying that the town has no issues and
Yeah.
we support.
Yeah.
The second one is more complicated.
That's our village,
I think, yes, so this is,
right?
it's in the village, so I'm not sure they were even supposed to send it to us.
Yeah, right.
Because we've never gotten one in the past,
Yeah.
so we can, send it back to them and say, are you sure? That either they incorrectly sent it to the town, or they're trying to make sure they cover all their bases and they sent it to the town and the village. So, but I don't think. We've never received anyone from the village before, and I know there have been other applications in the village. So I don't think that this should have even been sent to us, so we can just. Contact them and say, I think you make sure you contact the village.
Yeah.
That's the one option. The other option is, I am also concerned about distances
Mhm.
on this. It's not within 500 feet or 250 feet. It has to be on the same road.
Yeah.
And then once it's on the same road, then you do the measurements.
Right.
And so it's not on the same road as the synagogue, which is very close, and it's not on the same road, which is as the school, which is very close. But it is on the same road as the library. And it's close to 500 feet to the library,
Mm.
which counts as a community space. So I don't know if we want to say. Make no comments, or do we want to pass that on to the village, say you may want to investigate this for your comments or not? I don't
Yeah.
think that it's
Where is
our job to comment on this,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
can find out if it is or not. I don't think it is.
Where is
I don't
it?
think it's our job.
Yeah.
But since we got it, perhaps we should consult with them and see if they received one or not.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
Where is this? I know it's 56 Main, but where is that?
The cream, is it the Cheesecake Factory? Cheesecake shop, that
Right in
location,
the center of town?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like right there,
I
yeah.
so right across from Main
Yeah,
Street
I
Bistro.
was just thinking somewhere else.
I mean, too. We just have a library.
Yeah, so I
It's
just
further up.
Looked it up, and then I put a map together. And I kind of drew it out, but, my map is like, that's online, and I'm not a surveyor, so it's roughly 500 feet, it could be 501 feet, which means it wouldn't matter, but it could be
Yeah,
199.
it's kind of across from Lola's,
Yeah.
like right where,
Yeah, a
like
little
by the
bit,
ice cream, shop,
Oh,
like crack, like kind of where
Yeah.
everybody was.
and so it is, I don't want to say, no, you shouldn't do it, but I would like to say, please make sure it meets the distance requirements.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we can either send that back to the state, send that to the village and say, ask them if they would be willing to, just put that in their comments, or just, My worry is that some of the other applications, I know no one looked into the distance requirements.
And it's how many feet from 1,000 or 2,000?
No, so a dispensary cannot be on the same road and within 250 feet of a house of worship, or within 500 feet of a community facility. And the community facility is defined as,
Like a library.
may include but not limited to, facility that provides daycare to children, a public park, playground, public swimming pool, a library, or center or facility where the primary purpose of which is to provide recreational opportunities or services to children or adolescents.
Mm,
But there's a school and a library.
Yeah,
Yeah, except the school is close, but it's not it's not the same.
On the same
yeah,
street.
it's not within 250 feet.
Really.
And the
So
library.
it's
Exactly.
odd,
Right,
odd requirement.
And
On the
it's-
same corner.
It's,
Yeah.
yes,
exactly,
and it's also like, you
Yeah.
can see it from the synagogue,
right.
but it's not on the same road.
Is the application from the cheesecake owners
No,
or
it's
someone else?
from,
There'll be no more cheesecake place? 'Cause I really.
they didn't say, it just said like their address
Yeah,
is, they're from Highland.
Mm,
So you would think they would know, oh, Wallkill, they're from Wallkill. That's the second one, so they're from Wallkill, New York.
mhm.
You would think they would know that the town and village are different. But maybe they, like I said, maybe they're trying to cover all of their bases, and
Yeah,
I don't wanna.
Yeah.
So we can, we'll definitely reach back out to them and say, did you send one to the village?
Yeah.
And then what do you guys wanna respond to the state
mhm.
or to the village and ask them to respond? Since it was submitted to us, we can always respond to the state and just say, please be sure that the distance requirements are
met.
met.
I think that would be good.
I think that's one of the few responsibilities of the municipalities
Mhm.
to do that, because we know what is here.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure that we're doing what we're asked to do.
I agree. I think it's reasonable that they consult with us. So, yeah.
So we'll send those letters.
Okay.
Number 4 is the construction firm Labella that has been doing the construction management for Water District 5. That project is taking longer, so they needed to add to they have not, even though the project has lasted much longer because of COVID and everything else, they've never added to their budget,
Mhm.
but they've now stretched it as thin as they can, and so they're asking to increase the amount. And this is covered by the DEP.
Oh, it is covered by the DEP. We don't.
We're gonna be asking them for more money, but right now there's still enough money in the budget.
Okay. I mean, that's a good bit of an addition. Yeah. It's not a small amount. But if it's something that is needed to be able to finish that project.
Yeah, I mean, the project's gone on twice as long and they haven't asked for more money ever.
Okay, that's the first one. Okay.
So this is the first change since the original bid in 2020, I think.
Mhm. Why is it taking so long?
COVID, like supply chain issues, labor
Right,
issues,
makes sense.
but it's moving forward again.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, okay, yeah. So number 5 is another request to lower the speed limit on a road.
Mhm.
I think we've all had these already. But I responded to them and I explained the way it works, that we passed this resolution, that town have no control over the speed limits. Unless you're in a suburban town over 50,000 population, but the smaller towns we're not allowed to set our speed limits. It has to be done by the state DOT.
Right.
So we can request that they do a traffic study
Mhm.
and they'll come out and they'll measure the speed that the vehicles are going on. And but it's the frustrating part is it's the opposite of what you want, right?
Right.
So people are concerned that traffic is too fast on the road. So they're asking us, could you lower the speed limit from 35 down to 25?
Mhm.
So, but DOT goes out and measures the traffic, and if 80% or more of the vehicles are going above that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, then the answer is no,
Mhm.
because
Right.
so it's
Yes, they can.
because they can't.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is interesting because I live on Springtown
makes
Road
sense.
and there's a
It's-
section that's 55, but there's nothing. I mean, it's all just, it's flooded half the time, so nobody even goes 50. I mean, I'm on it, nobody even goes 55, but they all think it's 45. And a lot of them are farm,
It's 55.
it's 55.
Most
up
of
to
it, except for
45.
this
This one
section
section,
is
It's
35.
yeah, and no, it goes to 45.
45.
And the 45, people often don't even go 45. I mean,
Is
I
the
just.
rail
I drive it all
trail
the time. The rail
crossing
trail's
right there.
And it's bright yellow, so you
Yeah.
stop,
So people might go,
you know,
so the
Yeah.
rationale that the DOT has is if people are driving the speed that they feel comfortable driving.
yeah,
And if you just set the speed limit lower, that won't change the speed at which they drive.
right.
And
I would say that would happen on that road because.
And then it makes
of the
people
kind of
feel
road
like
it is.
the pedestrians and bicyclists are like, oh, well, the speed limit is 25.
So, I'm sorry, what are you saying? It should stay?
Yeah, we should stay right the way it is, seems fine to me. And again, I've never seen an accident. Would have to go to chief and see, what he says. It's a state road.
Yeah.
But I feel really safe. Like, I don't feel like people go too fast.
We've never had one approved,
Hmm.
or request, because it's set up to fail.
It's interesting.
that's
That's
my
philosophy. That's interesting.
So,
Yeah,
we can ask,
Yeah.
but I guarantee you it's not gonna.
Mhm.
My question, would it be going from 55 in either direction?
No,
Would
it's,
it be going, no, I don't mean that section, but would it, if you're driving from Butterville, or when Butterville, but Mountain Rest Road, Y,
Mhm,
down Springtown.
mhm.
Will you go 55 and then for that section you'd be going 35?
Yeah,
That's a odd, that's
It's
like
odd.
when you go through a town, that's what,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's
when you
what
got
I
west,
do
you-
too.
here's a town,
Right,
go
right,
35
right.
now,
And
but.
there's no
uh,
town, it's all like,
Yeah, so right now it's 45.
right now it's.
So you're
45.
going for this one
Still
section.
If we made it 45 and then made it 35, that makes sense,
And right,
but
a lot of times people don't even go 45.
The
They go like
likelihood we'll
40.
do
I mean,
that.
I don't really encounter like an issue on that road. Of all the roads in New Paltz, it's the one where I don't really feel like there's any problem.
did residents request this?
Yes.
And what was the rationale?
Did they
Um,
feel that was an issue?
Uh,
The section is just in front of their house.
they said there's like a lot of school bus stops there, like
Mhm.
there's some more density there. This is between,
Doug and Cragswood.
yes,
Yeah.
Doug and Craig's.
There's a lot of farm equipment.
We know-
people
you know it
equipment. I
well.
always go, we go slowly around them. I don't know, like I've never really encountered a problem, but it doesn't mean that somebody could have. I don't know.
But they may also look into,
Mhm,
going from 55 to 35. They may say, no, they won't do that.
Right. because
So I
it's
don't,
such a
I don't know
big
how
change.
they,
It
I
seems
don't know the
serious.
rationale for all of it. So,
Yeah.
But
Um,
I don't know, do people have strong opinions? I mean, I kind of look, I mean, just because we've never had one ask, I'm always just like, well, never hurts to ask because they're gonna say no.
When we ask, that's when they will study and see how
Yes.
fast people are going.
Yeah, what we're asking is for them to do a traffic
Study.
study
Mhm.
where they go out, they measure for, I don't know how long it is, but several it's measured over a 24-hour period. It's not measured just, 9 to 5. And so then they look at the 80 percentile.
mhm,
And so if, if 80 percentile, we're going lower than, or 35 already,
mhm.
they would then be willing to lower it to
Mhm.
35.
I personally don't see a problem with the street, so I don't see a need for that, but at the same time, if I'm open to. It's just my opinion, I don't see an issue, but.
Going both ways, coming at that, it's 55, that's, because you live off that road, so.
Actually, no, it's 55 coming towards it and pretty soon, like 55 part, there's no houses right on the road. It's all like farmland.
Mount Rest.
From Mountain Rest, it's all farmland on the right and some long driveways on the left, right? And then you get to the 45, and that's when you go to the little rail trail, and the rail trail has
Mhm.
bright yellow signs on both, and everyone slows down. And then through that section past, Coffee and like Doug and all the way back there. I personally don't experience anybody speeding, like I never, I'm like, and now my daughter's driving it and she's going 45.
It's a
you know?
narrow road, it's a little curvy. And so, but that's 45 from then on?
That's 45.
All the way to,
Pretty
all the way
much
through
all the way
Tilton and whatever?
to- Yeah, all the way through to Rosendale. So it's really, so I don't see a problem, but. That's me, so I'm willing to.
So the portion that they're asking is 45 now.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, it's 45 now, and they're asking that we lower it to 35. Or that we establish a lower maximum speed limit of 35. But I think, the county might also have a say too, because it's county road. so.
exactly, yeah. So
But
up to the
it,
Mhm.
we're asking the county and then they get to decide as well.
Yeah.
If it were a town road, they would just pass it along. That's my understanding.
Mhm.
My thinking is if the rest of it, Springtown is 45. and There's only one section of 55, that we shouldn't go from 55 to 35 to 45.
I agree
It just
with you.
doesn't seem like a good flow of traffic and people would have to really keep looking, like, what is it now?
Yeah,
I feel like if it's 35, if it's 45, the whole way, people might go slower.
Well, you know what we can do? We can ask the chief to put their,
Do a little
The
study
sign?
around.
oh, yeah,
so we have that mobile sign.
yeah. It
So
tells you
we-
how fast you're going.
We can
I like
ask the
that.
chief to put that out, and that does measure the speed.
Yeah, I
And-
like that idea.
So
Yeah,
that
that's a
will
good
then,
idea.
we'll have some data and then we can
And we
look it
can-
over.
Yeah,
So how about we do that?
I like that. That's a
Yeah,
good-
if
that's
they're
a
going
good
55
resolution.
in the 45,
Then you know you.
That's a thing.
Okay,
you know,
Okay, we'll do that.
I
which
like
maybe
that.
they are, but.
And then we'll, like, that'll take a while, but then we'll get back and then we'll
Yeah.
look at it and we can do our own
Yeah.
8% count.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't think of that before, but
Right, do we need to talk like that, or is it just something you'll do?
I'll talk to the chief about it.
Okay,
It may be, that has a tight schedule,
Yeah.
but they'll put it on the schedule.
okay.
And as long as they can find a place to put it
Mhm.
where it's safe.
Yeah,
We're listening to that.
yeah, I think there's
It's a
there's
lot.
spots for sure. Yeah, there's definitely spots.
So,
Straight away.
so number 6 and number 7. These were issues that we discussed with Stacy last March before she left.
Mhm.
We spent the time talking about the fire updates
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the cluster subdivision laws that the planning board had suggested. And so we then all approved, we all said, yes, we agree to all of the changes that Stacy suggested to us for the changes to the fire codes. And so I think some of us wanted to ask a few more questions about the cluster subdivision changes. And then Stacy left and we got involved with the ADU and recently someone contacted me about the cluster subdivisions. You know, someone who wants to do a lot line change.
Mhm.
They don't want to do a subdivision, they just want to do a lot line change. They don't want to create a new lot, but they just want to move the lines around. But that's considered a subdivision under the current law. It's even though you're not creating another lot, you're
Mhm.
just moving lines around.
Right.
And so that was that was the proposed changes. So someone asked about it recently. I'm like, oh, we changed that law. And then I went back and looked, I'm like, no, we didn't. We talked about it. Stacy gonna work on it some more with us. And then it just kind of fell off the radar. And so I'm just putting it back on there. We don't have to do anything tonight, but I wanted to like remind people, let's revisit these
Yeah.
and try to get them done before the end of the year.
Could we get a presentation about it? If, you know, if the planning board has brought this to our attention.
Stacy gave a presentation and it's
Yeah.
on, we have
It
the
wasn't,
tape.
it wasn't complete though, based on, you know, I think there are implications for wildlife corridors and I'm especially interested in hearing more about it.
I don't think anyone on planning board could give that presentation. I mean, if you have questions, you have to reach out to someone because this was worked on with the attorney and I don't even know it, but Stacy asked the questions, but it was at the meeting, you know, it was said like, well, if you have questions, reach out to Adele or the ENCB or run these by someone and try to get clarification.
I can look into this and try to get us to get a bigger,
Yeah.
better look
Yeah.
at this.
Great.
Someone got
Yeah,
in touch with me,
that'd be
Matt
great.
Eiler, in fact, got in touch with me, having heard about how we were considering this, and he said he knows a lot about this. Did he get in touch with you maybe?
He was at that meeting with us when it was
Mhm.
presented.
Uh-huh. So,
Mhm. That was this summer.
yeah, no, it shouldn't take
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm just bringing it back up to
I'm gonna
like,
put
hey,
this-
we
make sure I-
kind of started this and it kind of fell off the radar and I just wanted to
Right.
remind people. But there's no pressure to do anything tonight,
Mhm.
you know, and the same with, we had the presentation this summer about the overlay district.
Mhm.
We've been asked, you know, are we gonna move forward with that at all? It seemed like the board was in favor of that.
Mhm.
One of the things we need to do is officially vote to send it to the county planning board and the town planning. And we never made that vote. And so if we can send it to them, and then when we get their comments back, we can have a public hearing.
Yes.
And then we can vote.
And then we can see what the public thinks about it,
Mhm.
but also what does the county and the town planning board think about it, but they won't officially start working on it until we send it to them. And so now it's just been in limbo,
Right.
so,
Kind of, it's in our court.
because we need to toss it into someone else's court.
Okay.
So like my motion is to send the overlay zoning changes to the county planning board and the town planning.
I
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. And number 8, these are budget modifications to the 2023 budget. For hiring a temp agency for one, some overruns for other things for machinery, just moving funds around. Motion to approve the budget modifications.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And let's see, number 9 is These are voluntary. These are things that we offer to the employees. Voluntary for them 100%, but the board needs to approve us offering them, so it's just policies, 100% employee paid, but they're paid through payroll deduction, which is why we need to authorize them. So, it'd be a mutual life insurance, if they wanted to get that, whole life insurance for their family, or accident insurance, critical illness insurance, things like that.
Second.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
The number 10 is, these are the rates that MVP has sent to us. 6.4% increase for
Yeah.
insurance.
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, we,
What are you gonna do?
It is what it is.
I was gonna say, what does it mean to approve them? Do we?
We just have to
need
accept them.
insurance?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
This is.
And this is the
like
cheap
a-
one.
Yeah, it's kind of
So motion to approve the MVP published rates for 2024.
second.
Yeah, okay, and number
All in
11.
favor?
Aye, yes, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sorry. Number 11 is a year and a half ago, we approved upgrades for computers and time clocks, and we're finally getting around to buying the time clocks. And so we're using, this is the last part of that project, and it's motion to authorize purchasing and installing the biometric time clocks in different offices.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
That sounds awfully creepy. A litmus scan, a blood test.
Used to be a fingerprint.
Uh-huh.
Funny part is there was actually. There's 3 laws out.
Yeah.
One law says that you cannot use a biometric time clock.
Uh-huh.
Then that was rescinded to state. And I just briefly looked at it, that includes everybody except government agency, municipality, stuff like that. Then in 2022, it almost looked like Kathy Hochul rescinded that law.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not really sure about it.
Interesting. All sorts of weird contradictions. I love how
We have an old, I like.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
my
I ever
favorite
did.
contradiction is how you have to take a polygraph to become a police officer when it's neither legally admissible nor scientifically relevant in any case. And yet someone's spending money on these nonsense tests for every police officer in the town.
Well, time clocks are probably a good thing. Each department has to do their own. Ours is a nightmare. It's pages of stuff, because we have overtime, straight time, HEO time. We have, if you come in 2 hours before your shift, you're given a meal. If you work so many
Yeah,
hours after your
yeah.
shift, you're.
And someone's got to calculate
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
just pages. So I would imagine this would make it quicker.
Might be.
That finance doesn't have.
Yeah, it's on the back end, yeah.
It's on the, it's on, or it comes down like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And transfer. So that, it saves.
I
said-
said employers use an app now.
Yeah, I know.
Those seem to be pretty robust and sophisticated, but I'm sure there's a lot of rules about what kind of apps you can use in a municipal environment too.
Yeah, I didn't.
There's also security
I
and
honestly didn't
privacy.
even know the other thing was a thing. My wife actually mentioned it. She goes, no, I think that they made that, so you can't do that. What do I know?
Ah, your wife's paying attention to stuff.
Yeah, well, she works for a place that does stuff like that.
Ah, okay.
That's why I don't know. I didn't look at that. I'm assuming they looked into it, so
Uh-huh,
put it in. It saves some time, great. Saves some paper, great.
yeah.
Well, I don't like technology, so I'm just hoping the village used to have, I think it was a fingerprint one. And it had nothing but problems with it at the DPW. And I think, I don't know what they have now, then I think they went to a fob, a little fob, you wait for it did the same thing, but I forgot my fob,
Yeah.
So you always usually got your fingers, so unless it was a rough night, so. or a rough day.
A rough day on the job, yeah,
I'm assuming, I've never seen what it looks like,
yeah, all right. Wacky.
but there's only 2 of us that use time clocks, that's the highway department and recycling.
Interesting. Everyone else is.
On
How,
the honors,
yeah, they have work to do and they just needed to get their work done. And the office needs to be open to the public at certain times. Yeah, I guess it just depends on the context.
some I guess there's ways to, I've heard of people like when you come in, you log in on your computer,
Yeah,
and your login time is
yeah,
somehow goes to your. The time you showed up,
yeah,
but this was something they've been trying, I guess, it was part of that, like you said, program for years, they just. Finally got around to it.
yeah,
I had to have a time clock, and so I can look at it, you get this much overtime, or this came in. Or it's also a way of people have left before I get there, I can look at the time card, yep, he's in,
I don't know, have to find out how to do that on the new system.
yeah,
You might actually know more
it could be,
if you know how to use it.
yeah, I'm sure my assistant will show me,
Uh,
or I'll have to get a 12-year-old to
I
show
was
me.
gonna say, I hope your assistant is no older than 25.
I'd have to find a kid, and they'll show me how to use
Yeah.
it.
And 25 is pushing it.
I don't know, it seems like the more sophisticated, unless you buy a super expensive system, it just doesn't. But I'll give it a shot, see what happens.
Yeah,
If it saves finance time, that's a great thing.
it's kind of like the constant fights they have with parking technology in the village. Because it's, you have to keep up, you don't wanna you can't maintain these old mechanical meters, it's hard to find the parts. But are expensive, yeah, they're really expensive, and they're all digital and everything now, and the kiosks will break down all the time. But there are actually spots in the village now where if you don't own a phone, you can't park there. It's the only way to pay.
First time I encountered one of those was Salem, Massachusetts, we went up and we pulled up and you couldn't put a coin in.
Yeah.
You had to, so I sat there and downloaded the app on my phone. I thought it was the best thing. Because I could pay for a half an hour, an hour. At the end of that hour, it would send a text to my phone, would you like to re-up it for another hour?
Yeah,
And you could re-up it. And I thought, this is great, I didn't have to worry about how many quarters I have.
Uh-huh.
Card, search it through the seats, and it reminded me, so I didn't have to worry about getting it addicted.
but there's another side to it. For example, if you paid for 25 cents for 15 minutes in the village, it would cost you 72 cents. Because of all the fees.
And that's the catch.
Yeah, you paid for something,
A lot of people, and I noticed this in Salem, would go in, and they put the maximum 6 hours.
because they don't want the extra charges. It's
Right.
cheaper.
And they would only be there for an hour.
Yeah, and
We
the
were
next
having
guy can't have
lunch
that
with a
time.
group, and they put 6, they left it. Now, the next person that came in
Has to pay again.
paid that again.
Yeah.
Now, I'm almost guaranteed they didn't get refunded that. So,
No,
I mean, municipality wise, yeah,
It's
you're banking
it's
on
a
that's
really good bonus for
Right.
running it, yeah,
But
It's
like,
true.
like you said, parking meters are stupid expensive.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how this, honestly, I don't really know how it works. I would imagine it's gotta be GIS some way, and I guess the parking meter people have a way of.
Yeah, and they have to the ones that have meters, they have to check the meter.
Walk
and they
by
also
and
check
try to
their-
be- Yeah, I don't know the technology.
But apparently they do know they can look to see which spots are expired or not paid for.
I think, if I remember the one in Salem, it was a red flash or a green flash,
Uh-huh.
one of the two. Or it had, no, I'm sorry, it had an LED in it.
Oh,
Like the LED would light up red and then there was nothing.
okay,
But I'm not sure that was everywhere.
yeah,
But it's, I collected parking meters for a while. I have a bunch that took pennies. I have some, I was given a set, they were trying in New York City that was supposed to be. It only takes quarters. Some of the stuff's pretty cool, and their clock, it's really a clock inside. I mean, take it apart, it looks like a big wristwatch.
uh-huh.
The hands go back and it's, big
Like I say, a motion to come out of executive session,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve a notice of discipline for Mr. Toby Kolbeck for misconduct and incompetence. And suspend him without pay for a period of 30 days without pay effective immediately pending the determination of charges.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right,